Oculus Quest 2.
It's actually better now. With the Quest Pro / Project Cambria around the corner, Mark confirming multiple other Quest headsets being in active development, and knowing that some people from Meta / Facebook actually watch my videos for some fucking reason, even though I can barely form a sentence together without making a Zuck on D's nuts joke, my monkey moron chimp brain thought it'd be a better time than any to highlight, in my own opinion, the Quest 2's biggest weak points in a CinemaSins style everything wrong with video. So as I go through these, please comment down below the biggest Quest 2 sins in your own opinion, especially if we want Meta to take these into consideration for future headsets. Also, I'm trying to hit 1 million subs before the end of the year, and let's be honest, that's not gonna happen, so you may as well just not subscribe. Subscribe for my undying love and appreciation. No one wants that. I don't know why I'm trying to use that. Please just subscribe, please. Let's be clear. I hate that I even have to say this to begin with, but if you think I'm blanket hating on the Quest 2 because I'm making a video intended to point out its flaws to hopefully lead into a better headset being built in the future, especially when my entire channel is based on this headset to begin with, you are on a new level of reality detachment that I can't even begin to comprehend. I like the Quest 2 a lot. I owe a lot to this thing. That said, I will be roasting the shit out of this headset throughout this video. That's kind of the entire point. Let's be honest, Mark is probably on his way already to give me some much needed spinal realignment after this video anyway, so f it, let's go. I'm convinced that Meta only gave us 3 IPD modes purely to make us all cross-eyed enough to be unable to read their terms of service agreement. But seriously, who the f thought this made any cohesive sense when the majority of currently available VR headsets all have IPD sliders, yet alone multiple of Oculus's previous headsets being equipped with them? That said, I do appreciate corners had to be cut to get the price down and fit into that small form factor, but in my opinion, this is literally one of the worst possible corners to cut, as for many, including myself, can get completely clear visual clarity because of this, and many suffer from eye strain because of this issue. Oh, and another sin for leading to the creation of my videos that spawned this absolute chimpanzee of a YouTube channel you're watching now. There's nothing better than booting up your Quest 2 to hop onto some games with your friends, only to be greeted with being locked out of your game library due to a broken fucking update. Literally happened to me yesterday. I still don't know if my game library works. Whoever developed this greasy, bungee, headache-inducing mess of a stock head strap should be locked up for crimes against humanity. Jokes aside, this head strap is really rough, especially if you don't have particularly long hair to help produce the plastic adjustment pieces from digging into the back of your head, which is the first thing that many users have to upgrade / replace, which seems to be part of the reason it exists to begin with, as Meta conveniently sells a $50 Elite strap that still to this day snaps due to its design flaws. Talking about the stock head strap, after speaking with this guy, Felix, in a previous video about how he literally broke part of his 7th cervical vertebrae using the stock strap due to a buildup of strain from the headset's unbalanced weight and the stock strap bungeeing when whipping his head in games like Population 1, and discovering other cases of this happening to other people, and the ridiculous amount of people who contacted me after this video to share similar stories is pretty horrifying. Cheaping out this much on a stock head strap only to risk users' health and shave off a few extra bucks on the headset is pretty gross. At least an Elite strap should come bundled with the headset, especially as there are plenty of options on Amazon for around $20 to $30. I understand that Meta would lose that nice round $300 price point, but I don't think many should be picking up a Quest 2 to begin with if you're gonna stick with the default strap for any real length of time. Inside-out tracking is great. I love it. However, it still has a ways to go, as tracking on the Quest 2 can be so freaking sensitive to certain lights, reflections, occlusion. Hell, if the Quest 2 gets a glimpse at your mother, I lose tracking on both my controllers and my entire headset all simultaneously. The new Oculus / Meta website is a bigger eyesore than your mother after a game of Gorilla Tag on the average fucking Tuesday. What's with this IKEA-ass, overly enterprise-ass website? What is this, dude? Seriously, jokes aside, what is with the spacing? The weird lines, the copious amounts of dead space, the tiny text in awkward locations? It's just bizarre that Meta honestly thought this looked good, especially when the original Oculus site design still exists in other parts of this website and looks infinitely better. Meta, please just change it back, or at least make some significant adjustments. People are gonna think this is some scam website ran by a 7-year-old. You should be able to replace the battery on a $300 device that you own. Batteries are wear items, and it's incredibly frustrating that the Quest 2 is engineered in such a way that replacing the battery is, in my opinion, beyond the scope of an average VR user, with most's only option to send the headset into Meta for replacement once the battery life has degraded enough to warrant it. However, I do appreciate the lengths that Oculus / Meta have gone to make the Quest 2 the cordless native headset it is today. Watching teardown videos on this thing is truly impressive, and Oculus / Meta does legitimately deserve some credit for such detailed and innovative engineering here. Though I definitely wouldn't call the concerning amount of reported multi-charging ports innovative engineering. However, it looks like Meta has recently made some adjustments to the Quest 2's design on the production line to prevent this from happening. The Quest 2's lenses are significantly clearer than the Index's glary, god-ray-inducing dual-element lenses, but they're still definitely a little glare-inducing, and seeing the progress VR lenses have made over the last few years with headsets like the Vario Aereo, I'd really like to see some near glareless lenses in the Quest 3 or Quest Pro. As much as the white material of the default strap fits the design of the Quest 2, it becomes to accumulate sweat, dirt, and probably a handful of bacteria pretty quickly over time, leading to a stinky, smelly, yellow-looking head strap. Leading me on to the headset color as a whole, the white sure does give the headset a sleek, modern Apple-style look, but over time the headset begins to yellow, pick up dirt, and just generally become a little gross looking. Pass-through as a whole can be pretty wonky sometimes, especially with the double tap to enable pass-through feature found in settings. 90% of the time, it takes me a good few slaps to the side of the headset to get it to actually activate. Can't play Fortnite on it. Out of the 3 Quest 2s I've been through, every one of them has experienced some level of dead pixels over time, but weirdly enough, some of the dead pixels don't seem to be permanent and disappear after a short amount of time, but it's annoying nonetheless, especially if you get one that genuinely won't budge and have to send your headset in for a display replacement. Honestly, I have no idea why Meta/Oculus has such a burning obsession with changing the Quest's menu system every few months. It's infuriating, especially when most of the revisions, at least in my opinion, make it harder to navigate, and still to this day I get lost in settings menus trying to figure out how to get back because shit has changed again for absolutely no reason. Guardian likes to self-destruct sometimes and completely forget your entire marked out play space for seemingly absolutely no reason, forcing you to either redraw the entire goddamn thing or restart the entire headset. Not to mention the occasional shifting of the Guardian system, causing you to sucker punch your fucking lamp. No, wait, no! Facebook. I mean Meta. Still, even today, many users present in my Discord server at discord.gg/GetHip, come hang out, link in the description down below, just say, and my Twitch, twitch.tv/GetHip, just say, still contact me to this day about losing their entire game library. In fact, one of my closest moderators who lost access to his game library for seemingly no reason at all, still has not gotten his games back even after multiple messages with Oculus support. I even spoke to a user literally the day before recording this video that also lost their entire game library, even after sending receipts of their purchases of these games to Oculus support, and still have not received any of their game library back. I currently also don't have access to my game library like I briefly mentioned, at least the last time I booted up my Quest 2, and there are also countless other reports of this, particularly after updates are performed on the headset. This issue obviously should not exist to begin with at all, as it's essentially unintentional fraud on the side of Meta. Not only that, but this has been a present issue for many users for well over a year now. This issue highlights why I personally could not be less excited about the vision for the metaverse that Mark showed at last year's Facebook Connect. It's essentially pretend ownership, paying for a library of games that aren't in any way physical and can be yoinked from your grasp at any moment. This is the sort of fake ownership future we're sleepwalking into if we allow the metaverse to truly become a second life. Field of view, still too tight for my liking, especially when you consider the Quest 2 has an FOV that's smaller than the FOV that was on the original Rift from 2016. The default facepad is a sandpapery, rash-inducing joke. However, Meta did eventually include a cheap silicone cover that, for the most part, solved this. The Quest 2 overlay is still infuriating performance heavy to this day. Opening a Quest 2 overlay during a game of Saints and Sinners or a populated VR chat world can spiral your Quest 2 into a fucking freezing mess. This is infuriating when you have to commonly open at least the base overlay just to check your battery percentage or read a notification. Boom, there you have it. Did you agree with this list? You completely despise me as a human being? Tell me what you think are the biggest Quest 2 sins. Did you actually, for some reason, subscribe? No, you didn't. Let's be honest. No, you didn't. Also, I'd really appreciate if you guys followed my Instagram and my Twitter. I know I say it at the end of every video, but I post stuff there, so please check it out. Okay, thanks. Bye-bye. I'm gonna peace out and make this video, baby.